You guys can see how massive my hair is right now. This is how my hair does in humidity. It gets huge. Actually, I don't mind it. Anyways, hello. Thank you so much for being back on my channel today. I am loving sharing with you guys. I'm loving the responses and the feedback, and keep that line of communication open. I love hearing from you guys. I know that a large portion of my viewers here are following my videos because they know me from The Walking Dead, and I'm so grateful to have you fans here with us. This video is going to be about my most requested topic, and that is what is being on The Walking Dead like? How did you end up on the show? Is everyone really nice, etc., etc. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my TWD story. So the first time I ever heard of The Walking Dead, I was in college and I was studying theater performance, and I was doing a project in which we had to do like an adaptation. And these guys in my group, there were two of them, they wanted to do a Walking Dead themed Macbeth. And I had never heard of Walking Dead, I don't think, before that point. I just knew it was like a comic book zombie show, and it did not sound interesting to me at all. I thought it sounded kind of nerdy, kind of lame. It's who I was. I just wasn't into it. Fast forward several years later, and my partner Alexander, he's like, you know, you should watch, like, let's watch an episode. So I watched an episode, and at the end of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this. I really like this show, and we ended up binging the whole show. It's cool to see how your taste can change, or how you can like what you think you don't like. Anyways, so by this point, I'm about a year out of school, and I'm working as an actor. At this point, I have worked on one episode of House of Cards. I've started working in my first recurring television role on a show called Six, which you should totally check out. We're about to start filming for season 2 and auditioning more often, and one day I get an audition for The Walking Dead, and I could not believe it. I was super excited. So I get this audition for Walking Dead, and it's for a character who the name ended up being changed, and the sides weren't from the show. So it was just a made-up character name and a made-up scene. And it was really kind of funny. It had this element of humor in it, and it was actiony, and she was tough. And I was like, sounds really fun. I was just excited to do the audition. So it was a self-tape, so I put that together at my parents' house, and I submitted that. And as an actor, when you submit auditions like that, when you submit any audition, you just get to this point where you don't think about it after you submit it. You don't like wait to hear back, or you don't hope for anything. You just kind of are like, cool, or toss my tape into the mix and forget about it, move on. So needless to say, I was floored about 2 weeks later when I get a call from my agent saying, hey, you're up for studio approval on The Walking Dead, and you need to be here tomorrow for a fitting. And I freaked out. I was at the DMV in a parking lot. I just, like, my mouth dropped open. I was like, Alexander.
What?
It was the strangest experience. I was just so filled with joy in that moment. It was a great moment. So I obviously get there as soon as I possibly can. I leave the next morning really early and get there for a fitting. And I start working on my very first episode. It was terrifying. I felt so ridden with insecurity that, I mean, I really just felt crippled working on set. Like, it was too much for me. I felt inexperienced. I felt inadequate. I felt like I didn't belong there. And even though there were some really nice friends, it just was really, it was a tough transition. It felt, you know, like this big weight. It's a big show, and like I really cannot mess this up. And you know, you feel the energy is very like urgent, and people are, you know, it's a tight ship. People are running things, and so it was really, really scary. And I had a tough time being Laura. She's such a stretch from who I am naturally, which has the possibility of being really fun, but it also has the possibility of being really challenging. And it was when I was in an environment that I felt, you know, kind of uncomfortable. But I saw a lot of that go away the longer I worked, and the more I just spoke back into myself. I belong here. I can do this. I've got it. And that's when it started to be more fun, thankfully. Even though I was super excited there to begin with. The cast, just like, I mean, when these guys have been working together for years and years and years, it's obvious that there's a real bond between everybody. I know that everybody wants to know, you know, who was really, really nice in the cast, and like, you know, people want to know, like, oh, is this actor a jerk, or are they like a good person? One thing you have to remember is that whenever you like meet an actor, and this is especially true if you meet them when they're on the job, you're essentially like walking into a situation where they are in their work environment, and maybe you're carrying some like hope that they will like really, really invest in you. And you can't have that expectation of people in the workplace. You're all there to do a job, and sometimes that means like taking some time to not be social and really focusing on the work. And as an actor, I understand that. Beforehand, I didn't really understand that as much, you know? I didn't know what the industry was like. I kind of thought, you know, when you're not acting, you're just hanging out, like making friends. So that's just like something to take into consideration when you're meeting an actress that's not really related. Even though that is the case, Austin Emilio, Josh McDermott, Elizabeth Ludlow, Mike Seal, Martinez, all of these people, Andrew Lincoln, far nicer than they should be expected to be. Does that make sense? Went out of their way to really be warm and welcoming. They really made me feel, especially Austin because he was there my first day, they really made me feel at home and welcomed and capable of doing that job, and just did an awesome job of building me up. And I am so grateful for that, and I hope to spread that along as well. It definitely changed how I watch the show now. Spoiler alert. I mean, I used to be so invested in the show, like I cried when I thought that Glenn died, you know. It was so real to me. And now that you've seen behind the curtain, you kind of can't watch the show in the same way anymore. There's a little bit of magic that's gone, but you trade that out for this whole new magical experience of being there and being a part of it and making it. You know, watching the show, I have new associations with what I'm seeing, but I wouldn't trade that for anything, honestly, and I'm really, really blessed to have that. So that's what The Walking Dead has looked like for me. If I missed a question that you had specifically, you can post that below and I will try to answer all of the comments. I have no idea what the future will hold. I cannot say anymore. I can't say anything about the next season. I essentially know nothing, so you shouldn't even ask me. I hope this video will give you guys a small glimpse into what it looks like to be a tiny, tiny part of a huge show like The Walking Dead. It's easy to feel trivial, but all the little parts keep the machine moving, they keep it working, and I just want to inspire you to, it sounds cliche, but I really, really mean this, to pursue your dreams and to not limit yourself, to dream big, to follow your passions and become really good at what you want to do. And I'm here to inspire you. I would love to receive your inspiration back. For me, I need it, I want it, and I am so grateful for what you guys have been sharing with me thus far. Don't give up, and always reach behind you to pull others along with you, to pull them to reach their dreams as well. Thank you guys so much for being here and for listening to my story. I cannot wait to hear your reactions. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know what I missed. Take good care.